Hi, this is David Dow, and it's going to be the first of my book review series, and these are literally audible books, and just because I spend some time in the car and time-wise I don't have as much time to read, and I really do enjoy listening to books. As my eyesight's gone a bit, it sucks because I originally had better than 20/20 vision my whole life. But as I've gotten older, your eyes start to be less apt. So the book I'm reviewing today, and hopefully I'm recording this during the whole Corona thing, the COVID-19. So hopefully this gives you something to watch. It also explains why I look so horrible because none of the barbershops are open. So hopefully it gives you something to do during the thing rather than watch TV. Now the book I'm reviewing today is David Goggins' book Can't Hurt Me. David Goggins is really well known in the as like the strongest willed man. He holds a pull-up record, I think, for over 3,000 pull-ups in a 24-hour period. It's probably, and it's a lot higher than that. It's probably closer to 4, I think. He is an ultramarathon runner. He was a Navy SEAL. So he's been on Joe Rogan a lot. That's where I had heard from him from. I really love this book, and it's really easy to just take it as an inspirational story. But he says in the beginning of the book that it is a hero's journey, but he wants the reader, or in this case the listener, to take it as a blueprint for your own hero's journey, to become the hero of your own story. I don't remember if he mentions it in this, but he's mentioned it in the podcast and other interviews elsewhere. He has a belief that when you die, you go before God, and he will go and say, you were supposed to be this, 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 and this in life. And if you fell short, like let's say you're supposed to become the next Tony Robbins or whatever, and you ended up sitting and working at a dead-end job. So, he doesn't want to feel that when he goes and sits before God that like he didn't achieve his potential. He wants to, even though God's omnipotent and omnipresent, he wants to shock God for all he's accomplished in his life. Like, God knows everything, and even then, he wants to supersede, like, instead of having the book of life of this is what his life is supposed to be about, he wants God writing down all the stuff he's doing that wasn't in the book. So, I like that concept, and that kind of ties in with the book being a blueprint to become your own hero's journey. Biggest thing I can say about this book, especially the audio version, is that, and what's really cool about the audio version is that it is between each chapter, so sometimes between halfway through the chapter, like when it's a natural break, he and the person who's narrating, David Goggins isn't narrating. I think it could have been cool if he had narrated it, but his buddy Adam, I think, narrated it. At those breaks, they actually have like a mini podcast, and they discuss what just went on and go deeper into some of that, which is really cool because like there's a concept he has in there called the accountability board. And in one of those quote-unquote podcasts, he goes deeper into how to make one. So in that sense, even if you have the paperback version, I highly recommend the Audible version. In the links to this video, I'm going to put a link to this audiobook. I'm going to do that in all my reviews. The greatest gift this book has is that if you see where he came from in life, and he pulls no punches. He gives in vivid graphic detail, including language. So unfortunately, I think it would be great for kids to listen to this, but it does have a lot of F-bombs. But he doesn't put it in gratuitously. It's really natural. It feels from his normal spoken voice, and he uses the F-bomb in ways that it should be used, as to emphasize his feeling in that. But so like a mature teenager definitely could handle it if you don't mind them hearing all the F-bombs. As I said, it's not gratuitous. It actually helps accentuate what he's trying to say. But I do warn that. But it is his natural way of talking as well. It's not like rap in that it's like there for the sake of being there or shot. It's important for the story he's telling. But his life was really messed up. He's achieved. He's younger than I am, and I've done quite a bit in my life, but he really, I wouldn't say pushed me to shame because he wouldn't want any reader to feel that way unless it pushes you forward. But the amount he's accomplished in his life, especially from, like, if here's the starting line, he probably was in a mountain, like, several states away before the start line. He really had a crappy childhood and early young life, like even into his 20s. So one of the greatest things I think about this book is no matter what excuses, and there are probably people worse off. I saw on the Tony Robbins documentary, I Am Not Your Guru, about this woman who was in a sex cult. She might beat David Goggins for shitty childhood, but most people, when you hear his story, where he came from, you really don't have an excuse. He takes all that you could use as an excuse for why you haven't achieved what you want in life. He started so far behind everyone else in a lot of different ways, and with the amount he's achieved, it's just amazing. So, and I said it's more than just an inspirational book. It is a instruction manual on how to become successful, how to push past boundaries. Some of the chapter titles I love, like Callousing the Mind, Taking Souls. It really tells you. It truly is a how-to book on how to push yourself, embrace the suck, so that you can achieve all you want to in life. I'm thinking I'm going to go on a 5-point scale. So I would give this like a 10 out of 5. For my first review, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, it's just so amazing. This book is really... I've always believed in embracing the suck, but I haven't always done it. And this book really shows you there's no excuse not to. That anyone can. The chapters in there, some of the highlights is that some of the ways he's prepared or not prepared for certain races, his time in the teams, some of the stuff he goes through in all of those is just, I've even spoiled the same, like his background kind of gives it away, but how he got into some of the things he did, and everybody assumes he was an amazing athlete before he got into that life, and he wasn't. So that's why I mean there's no excuse for anything you want to achieve. Where he went from before he joined the Navy, and he was actually, I think, in the Air Force before that. It's just amazing where he... and as I said, the book, and the audio version, just really is amazing as well. It really hits home. You can feel some of how bad the bad was, and like when he overcomes all these obstacles, it's an amazing, compelling story. And if it doesn't motivate you, and actually he talks about motivation as BS. He doesn't say BS. That you just got to embrace the suck. There's so many great lessons in there for success, especially physically. But and he actually says that you have to do the physical to carry it over into the other realms of your life, which I think is pretty true. Coming from a martial art background, the difference between an expert at a sport or activity like martial arts, basketball, like the reason Michael Jordan and I'd say Shaq as well, because we're masters of basketball rather than just experts, is they were able to take the lessons on from the court and apply them into life. The reason I bring up Shaq, if you look at the amount of financial success he's done off the court, is just amazing. And I'd say that's the same with Goggins, is he takes lessons and he wants you, the reader or listener, to take the lessons you get from really pushing yourself physically and having calloused the mind to be able to apply those then into all aspects of your life. So I cannot recommend this book enough. I mean, I'm going to probably listen to this over the remaining years of my life a lot. And I'm really trying to apply some of the lessons in the book. I like the idea. I don't want to have a mediocre life myself. And up until now, I hadn't. I'm in a rough patch right now. But hopefully, I'm using also this book in combination with a couple others to deal with this time, and also not just climb out of it, but climb out of it much stronger and to propel myself farther than I ever thought I could. Any positive comments in the or questions in the comments, I will answer, trying to avoid spoilers, but I really cannot recommend this book enough. David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me.